Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new Bipolar Untangled. I am Rudy Caseres, and today we are going to be talking about creativity. I'm really interested in talking about this topic because there's a lot of myths and a lot of fact versus fiction to be, for lack of a better word, untangled. To be clear, there's so much that we don't know about the links between creativity and bipolar. There certainly are quite a few studies, and I can link to some in the comments below, and you're more than welcome to read through them yourselves. But what I've learned is that there is quite the difference in opinion when it comes to what exactly is creativity. What is the definition of creativity? Different studies use different definitions, different criterias, different populations, different symptoms even. So one study may just follow a small group of people experiencing manic symptoms, or just young people, or people who have experienced all kinds of different things but had inconclusive results. But people cherry pick and choose and to fit their own narrative for the most part. Just know that going in, there's no one end-all be-all study when it comes to linking bipolar and creativity, either for or against. But what about me? What about my own experience? I'm a creative person. I thrive under creative conditions. I love building things from the ground up. I love messing with colors and sound and performing on stage, all the different arts, all different kinds of creativity. I love it. But that is just me. Like I don't necessarily attribute that just to bipolar. And that's the case with many other people. Just because someone is bipolar and also creative, that doesn't always mean the two are directly related. But what I have noticed is that I can be more creative in either the earlier stages of mania, when the synapses are firing and feels like the electricity is surging throughout my body. Ideas come, and then I just feel like this creative surge, and that can get out of control and get haywire as the manic episode progresses. But definitely in those early stages, I feel like I can just come up with anything, and like I can have all kinds of creative ideas and creative output. That doesn't always end in a finished product, as a lot of you may know, the experience may know, and you start like 20 to 30 different projects and none of them get finished. But maybe one or two actually do. And also on the other end of the bipolar spectrum, depression, I see that I'm more creative at the end of at the end of a depressive episode. And I sometimes see that as kind of just me finding the light at the end of the tunnel. That it kind of takes some creativity sometimes when you're most depressed, at least for me, and trying to find a way out of that depressive episode. When I'm creative, then that can lead to me getting out of that depressive episode and onto bigger and better things, I'd like to think, although I sometimes always find my way back in. So I guess I need to be even more creative. I was curious about this. Like, why does it seem to be the beginning stages of a mania and the later stages of depression? And I have seen other studies that have corroborated on this as well. And there's different beliefs, there's different hypotheses, and again, there's no end-all be-all study that like links everything together. I'm sorry, I wish there was. Maybe that'll come in the near future. But definitely adversity has a role to play in it. And you know, the old saying, what it doesn't kill you makes you stronger. As cliche as that sounds, there is some truth to that with the whole post-traumatic growth. And again, the science behind this is still evolving, and there's studies that contradict other studies, but there is something to be said there for post-traumatic growth and adversity and creativity and finding your way out of these things, trying to make the most out of a traumatic situation. And I'm really, really fascinated where this is headed, where the research is headed, because, I mean, at least for me, again, I can only be the expert of my own story. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm not claiming to be one. But for me, because of the adversities I have from the bipolar and other things, that seems to have unleashed the creativity within me that may exist in other people as well, but definitely adversity has a way of shaping people for better or worse, but it can lead to creative output. Not for everyone, but it is there, and I'm excited to learn more about it. And I will definitely do a follow-up episode on this topic and even deep dive into some more fine-grained subtopics about this. So we're far from done talking about creativity. But enough about me, enough about the studies. I want to hear from all of you as well out there in YouTube land. So especially if you are bipolar and whether you see yourself as a creative person or not, and creativity, again, can mean different things to different people. I'm not talking about just strictly artists that just like, like the Kanye West, Carrie Fisher type, like all that stuff that you see in the media. Creativity can manifest in so many different ways. So I want to hear from you as well, and maybe I can take some of your feedback and that can inform the follow-up episode. What role do you see bipolar making an impact on your creativity or lack of creativity? I want to see from all different kinds of angles. And if you don't see any link between the two at all, I want to hear that as well. That's my spiel. I want to hear yours. And thank you all for showing your support. So far, the channel continues to grow. So continue subscribing if you haven't done so already. Recommend to your friends and family. And that is going to do it for this episode. This is Bipolar Untangled. I'm Rudy Caseres. Until next time.